Hey, good morning. What's happening? It's Friday, April 18th, 2025. Tanner, Drew, and Laura, we are live with Trash Bandits tomorrow, partners.
That's right.
Saddle grinders.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to saddle up tomorrow. 10 a.m., we're going to be meeting at Lynn's Park, right? What do they call ladies back in the Old West? Do they call it?
Damsel?
No.
Damsel in distress.
Maybe. why are we always in distress, though?
Well, because you need a cowboy to save you.
Can we just
Have you
be a
seen the
damsel
movies?
without being in distress?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, back then, that's how they thought of it, I think.
Yeah.
You know, that
This lady needs help.
You needed us.
Yeah.
Actually, the trash needs us. The city needs us.
Yeah. Now, the damsels are no longer distressed.
So
They're ready to help.
We got grippers just like the rest of y'all.
Tomorrow we'll be meeting at Lynn's Park at 10 a.m., and that's when we're going to start cleaning up Lynn's Park and the surrounding neighborhood. So come on down. You need to sign up if you can. We've got some spots available at 1059thebrew.com. And then afterwards, I think at like noon when we're done, we might just go day drink and at some local bars. I haven't been in that stomping area, my old stomping grounds in a while.
I don't think I've ever really been out in that area to do any drinking.
I also think it's kind of a cool time where we can actually just hang out with the listeners rather than have to do our job, which is you're hanging out, but you're like, I got a minute. I got to get back to this. This is like you can actually hang out and chill after the event.
Tomorrow morning.
Fun.
It's all going down. 1059thebrew.com. Let's do this.
Let's get it on. And now, the big story.
So where we go around the room sharing what we think the biggest stories of the day are. I'll start this one off. Astronomers have detected possible hints of the existence of life on a distant planet using the James Webb Telescope. This thing is rad, man. They discovered chemicals in the atmosphere of this exoplanet K2-18b, located 124 light years from Earth.
Whoa.
So just a quick trip.
Yeah.
But these chemicals indicate possible microbial, what do they call it?
Microbials?
Microbial life. Just like that tiny little
It exists.
Yeah, it's out there.
Something's alive out there.
So we're not talking like extraterrestrials. We're talking like algae.
Right. We're not talking about
Okay.
intelligent life.
Yeah.
But these chemicals are only produced by life.
Oh.
So they're saying
Somewhere is
there's a good
where
chance
that's coming from.
Beam me up, Scotty.
And I think I saw a diagram of like our planet size compared to that planet, K2-18b, and it's massive.
No, theirs is much bigger than ours.
Much bigger.
Oh.
Huge. But there's a chance there's life out there, y'all.
That's
scary.
interesting and extremely frightening. Being alone was so warming.
Yeah.
You guys aren't even going to believe this, but the big story to me is the interstate bridge toll could reach $20 a crossing.
That's crazy.
Okay.
$20 a crossing, and that's because of rising costs. Now, a retired civil engineer, Bob Ortblad, says that the project right now is going to cost between about $6.5 billion for a bridge and could reach $9.4 billion. I had no idea. Like, I knew it was expensive, but billions of dollars.
I say that's hogwash. There's no way that they can lower that price. They can figure that out.
It's
That's
unbelievable.
crazy.
Well, and I also think that the $20 a crossing, there's no way. Like, people cannot afford to pay that. So
Right.
maybe it's
Beef
just going
water.
to be, yeah.
He says that if they put a toll up, he can't really work here.
It's $100 a week.
Yeah, he can't.
Yeah.
He'd be paying to
Oh, no,
work
it's
here.
It's
$200
$200 a week because you have to
Go home,
go
too.
and back. Yeah. I just don't see how that's, I mean, if anything, you'd think that they would keep the tolls there longer as opposed to charging everyone $20 per car just to pay this thing off. I don't know.
Now it's
But that
not
seems
written
crazy.
It's not written into law.
Yeah.
It's just the opinion of a civil engineer, but at those prices, I see problems ahead.
For sure. I think the big story is that if you keep your eye on the sky this weekend and actually through April 29th, you may be able to see a meteor shower, you guys. It's not very often that clear skies and astronomical events like this coincide for the Portland Metro, but the Lyrid meteor shower happens every year, I guess, and we're going to have a good chance to see it. It's going on now through the 29th, and nearly 10 to 15 meteors are possible per hour with a moon-free sky. They're known to produce more than 100 meteors per shower on average. Or per hour, I should say. So looking directly overhead is going to give you the best opportunity to see this meteor shower. And the peak of the event is expected to happen on April 22nd. So look up and you might see some falling stars this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this hour's keyword for your chance to win $1,000 from the Cash Squatch is cash. That's pretty simple. Log on right now, 1059thebrew.com. It'll take you less than 30 seconds, and it'll be the easiest 1,000 you've ever made, unless you sell feet pics on OnlyFans. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I still work though. I think this $1,000 is easier.
You think?
This is
Yeah,
the ticket.
I think so.
Log on now, 1059thebrew.com. The keyword is cash. Good luck.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
was reading the story about a bride who was late to her wedding.
Yeah.
So she was flooring it.
Yeah.
And I guess
she's driving.
Well, I guess it was a friend driving.
Okay, yeah. The bride shouldn't be driving.
Yeah, right. Like you're not in your right mind.
Yeah, you're a wreck. Get in the passenger seat.
But police stopped the car going 105 miles an hour.
Oh.
And yeah, as the bride was rushing to her wedding.
Oh, man.
105.
So is that it? Like, does the cop take her the rest of the way, or are they both in trouble?
So no,
you're not in trouble as a passenger, right?
That's true.
They
yeah.
still went to the wedding. I don't think the cop arrested him or anything because they showed up to the wedding an hour late. But here's a clip from Inside Edition that discussed the incident.
A driver is pulled over for speeding way over the limit. What's the hurry? Look inside the car. She's a bride being driven to her wedding, and she's really late.
Whose wedding is it?
It's mine.
What time is it?
It's 2:30. I was like, Lord, please, 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 get me to this wedding.
The traffic stop happened in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Cops say the driver was doing 105 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone.
You're already late.
Jeez, now like going 100 on I-5 where it's 65. That's one thing. I was going 98 on I-5 once and got pulled over, and he was mad, but he didn't arrest me. But that's one thing because you're on the freeway. 45 mile an hour speed limit.
Excessive.
You're out of
It's
control.
crazy.
But this is what I don't understand. Like any wedding, any wedding I've ever been to, you're at the wedding like hours before the
Why was she
ceremony.
so
Like,
late?
how are you so late to your own wedding? Shouldn't you already be there getting ready?
There's no excuse for this behavior. Your wedding should be planned so that this isn't even possible.
Yeah.
I don't know the situation, right? Like maybe
be
maybe
it.
money's really tight and she had to work like right up to the wedding day. You know,
Maybe.
it's very possible.
Yeah.
But my guess is she was getting ready in the car, right? Like she's probably had her makeup kit out. My mom would get ready in the car and she
Yeah,
would
but
have her
not
makeup
for
out.
your wedding.
Not for her wedding, but it would make me
Like,
crazy
what?
because you take a turn and all the makeup go flying over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I would imagine the car is a mess.
But, and you've dated a girl like this. They're always late. Like, she could be
Yeah.
that girl where it's like,
But to
okay,
your-
we told you 2:30.
That's why you got to tell them.
noon.
Yeah, right.
And it's
Exactly.
just
To get them
amazing,
there on time.
Like, I'm not going to show up not looking my best.
Well, and I imagine it's really important to be on time to your wedding because you got a time limit on the venue. You got people who need to get out of there and do their thing. You got
The
you know,
minister or officiant.
Yeah,
like,
you got
they're
things
gonna
on a
leave.
time limit. Like, well, yeah, it's a lot of money to pay these people for an extra hour. So, yeah, we'll see. Why were you speeding? That's what I'd like to know. Probably not this morning because if you were speeding this morning, chances are you're in a bit of a rush.
Yeah.
But
You get where you need to go.
I was speeding this morning, I have to admit.
Yeah, but
I was running late.
I'm speeding all the time. Like, I'm in a hurry even when I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and this 55 mile an hour BS.
I can't drive 55.
I can't. I got Tommy Hagar.
I got Tommy. It's
I don't
his
know who
brother.
that is. I don't know who that is, but I've got him blasting through my speakers when I'm driving to work every morning.
Tommy Hagar is his brother who does covers at
Yeah,
weddings.
he's
not
amazing,
quite
though.
as good, but much more affordable.
So, yeah, why were you speeding sometime, maybe today or this week, whenever, 866-445-1059. Were you late for a wedding? Were you late for work like me this morning? Like, I rolled through that stop sign a little bit that I got pulled over a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you're right at the
Yeah.
scene of the crime.
I had to. I was like, man, I don't have time to stop.
I mean, you didn't have to. I mean, you didn't have time to stop.
I was
you
in a
got
rush.
time to stop.
I don't want to hear you
I'm
stop.
sure you
Stop.
glanced for headlights this time, though.
I did
at
glance
least.
at the
Yeah,
headlights this
right.
time
Good
because that
call.
cop was sitting there last time
Yeah.
just waiting. So I did glance and I was like, okay, he's not there.
It's
and
nice
I went.
and dark.
But I don't
I'm
want to
outta
hear. I already heard it from the officer. All right, you're not my mom, Laura, or my local cop.
Yeah, I got a warning.
Yeah,
He did. He was very
Next
kind.
time, it won't be a warning, Tanner. Next time, you're going to get thrown in the clink.
Laura's always speeding. Why were you? What was the? Because you drive like driving Miss Daisy, Drew.
Unless I'm late, though.
Unless you're late?
Because I like to be safe, but I also really don't like to be late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just got to get there sometimes.
Why were you speeding? 866-445-1059. You can also shoot us a text message on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line at 98197. Let's see here. $1,000 would be a pretty dope way to kick off the weekend.
Yeah, you could probably pay off your speeding ticket with $1,000.
Yeah, right. And what's like the biggest speeding ticket I got was like I don't know, like $300 or $400, I feel like.
Yeah, I
that's a
haven't
lot.
had one in a long time. I think they've gone up.
Yeah.
So I've only had, a couple hundred on a speeding ticket.
Right. Well, this hour's keyword is cash. So if you need the cash for your ticket or whatever, go to 1059thebrew.com, enter that keyword right now, and then keep an eye on your cell phone. 1059thebrew.com, the keyword is cash.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Well, the news broke that the Colorado Buffaloes head coach Deion Sanders and the athletic director over there at the college have decided that they're going to retire 2 numbers. Is it a great from years ago? Maybe, your favorite Colorado Buffalo moment? They dominated in the 90s. A lot of people not hanging in the rafters there. No, it's actually Travis Hunter, who is just won the Heisman Trophy and deserves to have his retired, and Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, Deion Sanders' son is going to have his jersey retired now.
Wow.
This doesn't happen. This is something that we circle back on. You let a career be digested and then reviewed over the course of time to see how it sizes up to the other careers. Why we would even have to discuss that, but no, Deion says that Shedeur had such a ride there that he's going to skip the line and go right up there next to Travis Hunter and all the other greats. Well, a lot of people are kind of shaking their head at that going, what did they really do? Well, he was there. Now, and actually on another level, which Laura mentioned and I've been thinking about forever, is what has Deion done?
Right.
Not a lot. The record doesn't look amazing, but Deion was asked, what's the deal?
Oh, here it is. Hold on. Sorry, here.
Let's get the elephant out the room. I don't want to talk about this too long. I'm going to just talk briefly and let it go. We talk about Shedeur. We ain't talking about nobody else. But his last name wasn't Sanders. We wouldn't have this discussion. The only reason we were having this discussion is his last name is Sanders. Okay? That's it.
Well, it's his last name, and he went 13-11 as a starter.
Yeah, so you're right. We wouldn't be having this discussion because his number wouldn't be getting retired.
Right.
To give you perspective, if that happened at Oregon, they would shoot you into the moon after a half a season. The rafters, you might land there on your way back down. In a little bit later this morning, we'll talk about the last playing games tonight. Should be a good one. There's your sports.
All right, another day, another $1,000 winner.
Hi, my name is Dean, and I'm from Vancouver, Washington, and I just won $1,000 off 105.9 The Brew.
Jeez, Dean, you being held at gunpoint right there?
Yeah, somebody's about to take that money from him, apparently.
This hour's keyword for your chance at the cash, and hopefully you can win just like Big Dean.
Big D.
It was late last night when he won. So
yeah, exactly.
Maybe he was a
He
couple of
probably
beers deep.
had a rough day.
Yeah.
He'll digest it today. It'll be nice.
The keyword is cash. Log on right now. You've got until 7 a.m. to get this hour's keyword in. 1059thebrew.com is a website. As soon as you get there, a box will pop up. Type in the keyword cash to score the money.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's Rock Station. 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. You got your chance at $1,000 here in just a few minutes. But first, I got to tell you about this. I can't even believe this is a thing.
Uh-oh.
Sperm racing.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah?
But isn't every...
Yeah? I don't know, man. I think it's kind of I want to hear more.
What
I
were
don't
you
know why
saying,
I'm
Laura?
intrigued.
I was just going to say, isn't that how a child is born, essentially, is a sperm race?
Well,
like,
this
isn't
race...
Isn't that what the whole
That
thing
is right.
Yeah.
This sperm race is between USC and UCLA.
Hold on a second.
And they're going to compete in this sperm race competition. Now, I guess the event features sperm racing on a microscopic track, aiming to raise awareness about male fertility with real-time commentary, instant replays, and even betting.
Wow.
Wow, what
You
a
can
time to be alive.
Put some cash on it?
Hold
Yeah.
on. So is somebody...
Where's,
Are a couple guys just going to, like...
Do we get a profile kind of like you would a
splooge
fighter?
into it? Yeah. Well, how many spermies are on each team?
I don't know. Here's a promo for the event. It's from spermracing.com.
Okay.
This is the world's first ever sperm race. This is Asher from UCLA versus Tristan from USC. Two legends, one microscopic racetrack. The battle for whose sperm is the healthiest, the fastest, and the tastiest.
Ew.
Whose
What?
swimmers
No.
will win the race.
The tastiest?
USC versus UCLA. Friday, April 25th.
Wow.
Live on
I
spermracing.com.
have so many questions.
Okay, I was on board until we got to the flavor
Who's
profile.
Who's tasting the sperm?
I don't know. I don't know what's going
The
on.
judges.
But I'm in. All right. I'm in, and I'd like to place a bet. If you know, what is it?
Is this on DraftKings?
DraftKings,
or,
yeah. I almost said Cash Kings, but I knew that wasn't right. DraftKings, yeah. I'm sure they should get something set up.
Yeah.
Get
it
on
won't
board.
be long. You can bet on just about anything on there.
So in
Call
order,
my bookie today and see what's up.
Oh, he's got it.
I'm just trying to figure out the logistics here, because in order for the sperm to like still be swimming, like it's got to be instantaneous, right? Like it's got to be like.
I don't know. They probably can freeze it. You know, it's UCLA and USC. They probably got some method.
Asher and Tristan, they sound like two dudes ready to go.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
guessing
like-
it's like an I don't know.
We'll probably not see that part.
No. But
I hope not,
But
anyway.
they would have to
What do you
serve
say?
it
You
up
hope
pretty
not.
quick.
I hope.
Maybe
You have your
there's
own
a-
hopes in this contest.
Maybe there's another channel for that on OnlyFans or something. But there it is, April 25th, the big event, a week from today.
Honestly, I might watch
Yeah.
just out of curiosity.
Right?
You know,
Let's play some bets, Laura. I'm with Asher. Or whatever his
Asher?
name is. Asher.
I'm interested because there's like it's not just how fertile you are, it's how fast they are. Because if it's just fertile, I could win this thing. I could have a kid in a second. But these guys got speed demons.
Well, there it is. Spermracing.com
Okay.
is the website. I'm going to go check that out.
I'm in.
It sounds like a pretty
intrigued.
big event. I wonder if they could put that on the big screen at like the Circa in Las Vegas. Like just a massive gambling screen.
Oh yeah, just sit in the pool and watch. Mm-hmm. Got it up there. Stadium swim.
Let's go to line
Swimming
one.
with the fishes.
Be careful with what you say, sir. Good morning. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Yeah, I was just gonna say UCLA's gotta win this one because USC is gonna get blocked by their mascot.
What's their mascot?
The Trojan.
Oh, hey. Hey.
There's something there. Corny but good.
All right, man. Thanks.
Wait, what's USC's mascot?
USC's the Trojan.
Oh, what's the other one?
UCLA's
Oh.
the Bruin. It's a bear.
All right.
Well,
there it is. I'll be ready for that. Coming up here in a few minutes. Hopefully you're ready for the keyword for your chance at $1,000 in cash from the Cash Squatch. As soon as you hear it, you got to go to the website, 1059thebrew.com, and enter it in to win. And then just keep it on your phone because we could call you back in minutes with the cash. That's coming up right after Stains. Happy Friday. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
All right, so we want to know what were you headed to when you were pulled over for speeding? That's why that's what we're asking this morning, because we were talking earlier about this bride who was pulled over going 105 miles an hour because she was late to her wedding. Now, to her credit, it was her friend driving. You know, she was probably in the passenger seat getting ready.
Yeah.
But they were flooring it down the freeway. No, not even the freeway. It was a 45 mile an hour zone.
Yeah, so it must have been just like a single lane highway or something.
Very dangerous.
Yes.
But the cop was cool. You know, he could have arrested her for that, for sure.
He broed her out.
But he didn't. He let her go to her wedding. She was an hour late. So we want to know, what were you headed to when you were pulled over? I was headed to, remember the last time I was pulled over, I was headed to work here at the radio station one morning, and I kind of did a California stop where I just rolled through the stop sign.
Yeah.
A little scoot.
And there's normally no one ever there, you know, because it's kind of back here in the business park area.
I didn't even know there was a police station over there.
It's kind of tucked in.
It's like a little hub.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't know he was sitting there, and I just rolled through it, and he pulled me over, and he was super kind and just said, hey, you know, I'm not going to give you a ticket. Just here's a warning.
But next time.
Just got to slow down.
Yeah, and sometimes you get lucky. You know, I got really lucky one time, and Tanner, you'll remember this when I bring it up, that you and I got in trouble early on in our career. Like, we're still in the first building we ever met in radio. And I get a call from the radio station, and probably another one from you that's like, we got heat, we got a meeting in like 15 minutes in the main office, we're in trouble. I'm in a Coca-Cola party Kia about 15 miles away at an event, and I get in this thing, and I start bombing back as fast as I can. Cherries and berries, pull me over. And it's like, I'm already in trouble. I'm in a station vehicle. I just got a major speeding infraction.
Yeah.
And he comes up to the car, and I just lay it out. I'm like, I just barely have this job in this stupid car. I'm going to get in trouble. This is going to end me. And he said, well, when I saw you pull out like a bat out of hell back there, I saw you fastening your seatbelt as you turned. So he wrote me a ticket for a seatbelt, not the speeding ticket, which made it a non-moving violation, and I didn't have to tell them.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it was pretty wild. You and I still got railroaded when I got back.
But you got to keep your job, right?
I
so
did.
That day, it all worked out for you.
Yeah, so what were you headed to when you were pulled over? This lady going 105, headed to her wedding. That's wild. Let's go to Chris. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, this was probably about 15 years ago. The speed limit through the gorge on 84 used to be 65. And I was coming back from Eastern Oregon. I was near Arlington, Condon, still out east. And it was 1 in the morning. I was in a little Civic. I was going about 120, and I happened to be taking a picture of my speedometer. Thought it was cool at the time. There was no traffic, dark, 1 in the morning. As soon as I took that picture, I noticed some lights came on. I was like, great. Pulled over. State trooper gave me, he's like, how fast? Why were you going so fast? I was like, look, just trying to go up a little incline. I'm in a little car, no traffic, whatever. He gave me a ticket, didn't think anything of it. I went back home. I told my uncle about it, and he's like, how fast were you going? I showed him the picture. He's like, dude, you got lucky because he wrote me a ticket going 84. He knew I was going over. I was redlining. And he's like, had he gotten you going 20 over, he would have got you for reckless driving, would have impounded your car. It would have been a mess. I was like, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he would have gone to jail for 120.
Yeah.
120 is you're a missile.
I didn't even know. I just got a $400 ticket. I paid it that day. I was
lucky,
like,
man. You're
I
lucky.
learned my lesson because now I use Google Maps and I got a high-end radar detector. So
there you go.
I still got a lead foot.
All right, thanks, Chris. Be safe, dude. You sound like you're a maniac. Out there at 1 in the morning.
120.
Let's go to Dallas. Good morning, Dallas. What were you headed to when you were pulled over for speeding?
Well, actually, I was heading back from a fair south of Malala, but I have a family that lives there, and I had to go to the bathroom really, really, really bad. So I was going 70 and a 50, and cop pulls me over, and I lay it out for him. I tell him, hey man, listen, it's an emergency. I gotta go. He just laughs, follows me to my family's house, and as I'm walking out, he just looks and goes, you feel better?
Wow. Well, that's nice.
Did he still write the ticket, or did he let you go?
Oh, he let me go. He was laughing too hard to write the ticket.
Nice. Good
That's
stuff.
cool, man.
Because
Like,
I feel
a lot of
like
cool
that
cops doing
excuse doesn't work very often.
yeah,
You know, it's like, sure.
it's almost like this cop just either wanted to make sure he was telling the truth or B, see if he would have pooped his pants on the ride home.
Yeah.
And just wanted to see him as he waddled
Yeah.
to his house.
Uh-huh.
Either way, that's a really cool thing that the officer did, man. Let you go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I've I speed a lot in situations like that. We're like, oh, it's a number 2 emergency situation, and I'm not at home yet, and I'm like, there was one time I was kind of speeding in my neighborhood because I had to go number 2, and like an old lady walking her dog going, hey,
threw the hand up, and you're like,
Yeah,
if only
like,
you
sorry,
knew,
ma'am,
lady.
it's an emergency.
I'm so sorry. I have to do this. We got a couple of talkback messages through our iHeartRadio app. Of course, you can send us one anytime. Download it for your cell phone. Once you have the Brew streaming, press the microphone button.
Hey guys, many years ago, my car broke down, so I had to borrow my grandfather's car, and I was late for work, so I was doing 85 and a 45, and a state trooper clocked me and pulled me over, walks up to the car and goes, "Hello, Michael, I'm calling your grandfather and telling him what you're doing in his car." Yeah, my grandfather was standing in his yard waiting for me when I got back.
Busted.
Ouch. Sometimes worse than the ticket.
Yeah, right. Let's go to Jeremy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So, back in 2007, I believe it was, KUFO through Rockfest. I'm sure you guys remember those.
Yeah.
So we were on our way to Rockfest. There was a group of us in a car flying down SR 500 in Vancouver doing like 90 miles an hour trying to get there. Smoke rolling out the windows like Cheech and Chong. And got pulled over, and the cop was super cool. We told him what we were doing. He was like, all right, if one of you guys gives up, something, I'll let you go today. And, you're going to have to go to court. So that kind of plays into yesterday's segment, too. So we all had to go to court for that. But, yeah, they let us go, and we were on our merry way with a fat ticket and a court date.
So the court date for the weed?
Yeah, well...
Oh, that's not that cool of a cop, then. I'd be like, I don't want to go to court, dude. I'm going to Rockfest.
Dude, we didn't have to go that day. I mean,
fair.
we got to go to Rockfest.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool. All right. Thanks, man. All right. That's really nothing to do with what this topic is, right?
Well, they were
down the freeway and got pulled
over.
All right. So he's headed to Rockfest. Okay, I guess that contributes. All right. Sorry for attacking.
Yeah,
you.
it's somewhere to be.
I'm sorry for attacking.
Yeah.
98197, that's our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line. We got text coming in. This one's from 3049. It says, I was driving up to the Seattle area to visit a close friend, and I didn't need to be speeding, but I was just cruising. Got a $350 ticket from Washington State Patrol for going 94 and a 70 on I-5.
Why were you speeding? Well, I was just cruising.
I was just cruising. Honestly,
how it is.
That's the only time I've gotten pulled over. Like, I've never really had to come up with, I guess I could have come up with more creative excuses, but it's always just like, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, or I have a lead foot, or like there's never any emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. This text comes from 4499. It says, I was doing 105 up I-5 when I found out my fiance up in Seattle. I was doing 105 up I-5 when I found out my fiance was up in Seattle with his girlfriend that I had known nothing about.
Oh.
Okay.
Not sure what my plan was, but I chilled out and decided I could wait until he got home.
Got it. Okay.
Started hauling out.
Yeah,
I'm on my
she's
way.
like, I will be there.
How far is it? Almost 4 hours. Oh, God.
While I was in Germany, I was doing 100 at the least on the Autobahn, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah, because the Autobahn, isn't that what the Autobahn is for?
Yeah.
It's just
You're
going
allowed
fast.
to bomb out there.
This text from 4180 says, many moons ago, I was young and dumb and invincible. I drove from Baltimore to D.C. in about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic or whatnot. I made it in about 20 minutes this day.
Oh.
Jeez Louise, dude. The fastest I've ever driven in a passenger vehicle was about 120 miles an hour.
Whoa. 120, because I've definitely driven 100 just to say that I've done it.
Yeah.
But once I get to the 3 digits, I'm like,
That's
all
kind
right,
of crazy.
time to back off.
I've never done 120.
120 is a lot.
Yeah, even at 100, you can feel that the slightest mistake is going to be detrimental.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
And like if it's just someone, because you're going so fast, people in your rearview mirror, they could make a decision, and then you could just catch up with them, and boom,
Yeah.
and smash right into the
They
back
don't
of them.
think, oh wait, this guy's going 120 for sure back there. Like
Yeah.
that, they will put you in the wall.
I will tell you, though, where it's easy to go fast is when you're driving through the middle of nowhere, Kansas, and you don't see another car in sight, and all you got is flat road ahead of you.
More talkbacks to our iHeartRadio app.
Morning, Brew Crew. No tickets for going too fast, but how about a ticket for going too slow? We had picked up one of our kids from the airport, and we were all chit-chatting. I was high as F, and I was doing like 45 and a 55.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
Traffic, and got pulled over and got a ticket for going under the speed limit and obstructing traffic. That was a day.
It's so annoying.
I would argue that
he was heavily baked.
But I do feel like going too slow is almost just as dangerous as going
For sure.
too
Oh,
fast.
it's terrible.
For sure.
And he's chit-chatting.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, sorry,
I had a
officer."
monster edible. How are you?
This bride was pulled over for going 105 miles an hour. She was late to her wedding. What were you headed to when you were pulled over? We got more talkbacks coming in through our app.
Yeah, I've never gotten this lucky. The closest I even came to that was 75 and a 45. I told the officer I was going.
Now people are
to
just
sign
bragging about how
up for the
fast they were
Marines.
going.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we got it.
That wasn't the question.
I'm bombing,
Okay.
baby.
All right, more of your calls and texts coming up. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Happy Friday.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
All right, what were you headed to when you were pulled over for speeding? This bride pulled over on her wedding day because she was a little late for her wedding. She was actually an hour late for her wedding, and she was just flying down the street, headed to the wedding. Cop pulled her over, but did not arrest her or anything. Like, she was going 105 and a 45, and he could have cuffed and stuffed her.
Throwing the book at her for sure.
But because that's reckless driving, and when I got pulled over going 98 and a 65, he was like, "I could take you for reckless driving."
What is it? Is it 25 over is reckless driving?
I'm not
It's
sure.
somewhere in that wheelhouse.
Yeah, so-
I always think when I'm 20 over, that's still a ticket, but when you start getting north of there, you get in some trouble.
Yeah.
What were you doing? What were you headed to when you were pulled over for speeding? Let's go to, I forgot her name. Was it? I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Jessica.
Jessica, that's it. I would have never come up with that. Good morning, Jessica.
Good morning. I was at Walmart. My husband called me. We live in Canby, and I was in Woodburn. And he goes, I built a bike ramp, and our son face planted it into the pavement. What should I do?
Oh, no.
And I said, well, I'll be there. And I had our 2-year-old in the back seat. And I was coming from Woodburn, and you know how those cops, they perch underneath the underpasses?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him coming, and I was going 90, but he docked me at 87. And he goes, you know that you're 15 miles shy of a federal offense. I said, well, I think I'm going to get home before the ambulance does. He goes, what happened? I said, my son face planted it into the pavement, and I'm on my way. And he goes, do you want a sticker for your 2-year-old? And I was like, man.
Wow. Like, no, I want to go. Can I go? So did he let you go right then, or was he cool?
He was all right. He gave him a sticker, and he's like, man, I have to ticket you. And he's like, good luck. He's like, slow it down. And I'm like, I can't make any promises, man.
Yeah, it's my kid.
Oh, my God.
You know, what am I going to do?
Gotta give you a ticket.
And-
Maybe, do they have a threshold of requirement?
I don't know, but now that you've held
He's
me...
like, sorry, I got to hit my quota for the month.
Now that you held me 10 minutes on the side of the road, now I'm going to drive even faster.
Yeah,
now.
and also, thanks for making me feel way better. I'm glad my kid has a sticker now.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, don't give me false
Yeah.
hope with the whole sticker charade. Like,
Yeah.
I think that once I roll down the window and you're like, hey, little girl, I'm out of the ticket.
I'm in the clear.
But
no.
no. Stickler.
Well, that's...
I know, it was kind of like a jab to the gut. I was like, I don't want your sticker, man. My kid just face planted it at home. I got to go.
Was your kid okay
Yeah, how's
when
your
you got
kid
home?
now? How many teeth did he lose?
Yeah, he hit his forehead on his helmet and got a scuff up on his cheek a little bit. It wasn't as
He'll be all
serious.
right. Yeah, he'll be all right.
And let's
But,
not...
you know, as a mom, you're like, what?
Yeah.
How bad could it be?
Right.
Yeah, and you got to think your husband's highly irresponsible building a ramp out there.
That's
in
what
an
dads do.
afternoon.
That's what dads do.
Wow,
man.
Drew, somebody's no fun.
All right, thanks. We appreciate it. I'd probably speed too if my kid was hurt. I would do the same thing.
Yeah, a little bit of a blind speeding at that point.
Yeah, he could have been cool out in Woodburn. I mean, come on, he could have been cool, right? Lettuce face.
Well, yeah, I suppose you could always be a little bit cooler. Cops can...
Kids bleeding out at home.
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean, he wasn't bleeding out, though. That was barely a fence to rush home for.
Yeah,
Well, she didn't know. She didn't overreact
It
at
is.
all.
It is funny though that she did not trust her husband one bit to
Isn't
take
that
care of
funny?
the child. She's
Yeah.
like, "I'll be there in a second.
Yeah.
Don't do anything."
Amy would have me assessing the situation. He just calls and he's like, need help. Built ramp.
Let's go to line 1. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Good morning.
Good morning.
I once got tagged for 75 and a 25.
Oh.
All right, where were you headed?
Well, it's actually a funny story. I was headed to the train station to pick up a delivery, and I was in a sports car with a girl. I was in college. You know how that is.
Sounds like you were about to pick up some drugs.
I was going to say, what kind of delivery
How much
we
cocaine
talking?
was there?
Well, years ago, that's how you got deliveries sometimes, 35 years ago. It was like a freight delivery, like Amtrak.
Okay.
Freight that way. And
So-
it was cheap. Anyway,
All right. So wait, hold on. Was it drugs?
Santa Cruz
No,
area.
I
was.
I don't think it's
But not
drugs.
drugs.
Not drugs. Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Anyway, there was this little hill, and I was actually going uphill, and the cop said I was doing 75, and I probably was, and I went to court for it, and I'm doing 40 and a 25, and they fined me for that, and I walked out. So,
Well, that's nice. Yeah, because that would have been reckless driving for sure.
Thanks, man.
Lucky.
yeah.
More talkbacks coming in through our iHeartRadio app. Download it for your cell phone today.
Hoy hoy. Happy
Ahoy,
Friday. I was on 84 with a group of high-performance sports cars and got outside of Arlington, that 8-mile-long stretch, headed west, and just happened to be there was no cars in front of us, and we topped out at 175.
Oh, no.
But nobody was around us. We won't do that with other cars.
Probably should just take it easy on that altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a rocket ship.
Lettuce face, when was the last time you were pulled over for speeding?
When I lived in Arizona, I got pulled over in Arizona. It was my famous day of getting 2 tickets in one day.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you seem like one of those guys that like, hey, officer, like you're going to be super talkative and
try and get out of it
No,
without begging.
I feel like lettuce face here. I feel like you kind of would probably give off a surly attitude.
No,
like, hey, bro, you're
listen,
wasting my time.
I have always had a healthy fear/respect of the police, just because I feel like at any given moment they can change my day on a whim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I'm very well behaved. I've been pulled over a lot, and I've gotten let go a lot. So I've only gotten these 2 tickets are my only tickets.
And one of them was a camera, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got the camera flash on the way up, and then I got pulled over in real time by, Carol O'Connor from In the Heat of the Night.
Get you every time.
When I saw him get out of the car, I went, all right, I'm done on this deal.
That's what's crappy about the flash cameras, man. It's like there's no buddy system there. There's no, all right, you're running late for this or whatever. I'll let you go. The cameras, the robots do not care.
I got a question about one of those flash cameras. I've been keeping an eye on my mailbox recently because I was driving back from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's macadam or what, but it's after you drive through like that big tree-lined part, and it's really beautiful. And there's like a police van almost looking thing parked there, and everyone drives so slow. And I think I figured out why. I think it like flashes you on your way by if you're speeding. But I haven't been able to figure it out because it wasn't marked. It just looks like a van.
It could have just been a warning because
lot.
when they first put the cameras in my neighborhood, like they would just flash at you for like the first month.
Okay, to kind of like hear where it's
Hey,
coming.
We're here. This is happening. We're going to give you an adjustment period. But
Yeah, 'cause I
Education
haven't-
over enforcement.
Because I haven't gotten anything in the mail.
Yeah.
So
could have just been a test.
Did you
Maybe.
see any signs that say that this area is monitored by?
No, I didn't see anything.
There usually has to be a sign
A
out to let
warning
you
of
know.
some
This
sort,
was a
yeah.
whole big deal when I was in Arizona because it was a third party that had the vans.
Yeah.
And people were just going like, you can't do this. And then there was this whole thing like, if you get the ticket in the mail, you haven't technically been served because it's not in person. So this was like a long story of people saying, you don't got to pay these tickets. And people were getting tickets that didn't belong to them. It was a mess.
Eventually, you got to pay the tickets. I feel like it's so funny because my mom got one of these, and my dad opens up his mail, and he's like, "Did you get a ticket?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Were you driving on this street?" And she's like, "Maybe, but I didn't get it. I wasn't speeding." He's like, "I got your miles per hour here. I got your license plate, and this looks just like you." Dude. And she flips around a picture of her, and she's like, "Dead to rights."
Dun dun dun.
When I got mine,
robot wins.
When I got mine, there was a link, and you could watch it in real time happen.
Oh my God!
Are you serious? What a kicker!
You watch your hand go on your face. Ah!
I've noticed those signs too are pretty far away from the actual cameras.
Yeah.
You know, the ones in my city are like at the city limits, and then the actual camera
is way.
It's like 2 miles away from that.
Have you ever seen the signs that are like speed monitored by aircraft? And you're like, what?
I haven't seen that.
It's
No,
true. That's a big thing down in like California Highway Patrol. And if you look on the freeway, there's like hash marks, and that's how they time you from the air.
Oh, so they can.
Yeah.
That's
So I just figured they had a space gun or something like an air. You know,
radaring.
Yeah,
but that's a real deal.
Wow, we got more talkbacks coming in through our iHeartRadio app. You can shoot us one anytime. Download it for your cell phone.
I'd put a new motor in my Corvette and wanted to see how fast it would go, and so I tried this out in Idaho, just north of Boise. I was hauling ass. I don't even know how fast I was going, but I passed a cop. And I don't know if he was peeing or sleeping, but I never saw lights behind me, and thank God, because I would have totally lost my license.
And I always wonder if like a cop's like just reading the paper. He's like, I don't want to deal with it.
It's just like, this is stuff to deal with.
Turns the page.
This kid looks like he's actually going to show up to the court date.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
One more talkback.
Good morning, Brew Crew. I feel like if I was that mom that was speeding to get to her kid that face planted, I would have kept on going until I got home and then be like, that's why I was speeding, officer. Sorry, but...
There's no way
That
you
plan
would have done that.
That turns into like you've got 7 cars on you now.
Yeah.
Like they're bringing in the backups.
Yeah,
And that's how our listener got shot.
Yeah. That kid would have seen their mother taken away in cuffs for sure.
Right.
So your kid has a bruised forehead.
All right, coming up next, we are going to play the 5 and 10 game for tickets to go see Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. 105.9 The Brew presents that show coming up in October. So we need callers 10 and 11, 866-445-1059. We'll play that right after Don Henley. Happy Friday. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Yeah. Happy Friday. A few more calls and texts coming in about where you were headed when you were pulled over for speeding, like this bride who was pulled over going 105 miles an hour when she was running late for her wedding.
Dang.
A lot of people, I realize that our audience likes to speed, man. They like to go fast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this someone says, "Hi, Brew Crew. I was doing 100 yesterday in Washington, and I was taking actual police evidence from Portland to the state troopers all the way up past Seattle. And he got pulled over, but he had explained what he was doing, so I guess he got off."
We use a third party to move police evidence?
I don't like that.
That sounds sketchy.
Yeah.
It's like the guy who dropped off my order from Home Depot last night in his cigarette-riddled car. Like, nothing's the same.
Yeah. It's going to be the next level for DoorDash. They're like delivering lungs to the hospital.
2396 says, "All this BS and all these people and their stories make me mad. I got pulled over doing 75 and a 45, and they gave me a reckless driving ticket, huge-ass fine, and an SR22 for years that made my insurance go up and cost way too much, and I was 19 years old." He's hearing all these people get off, like cops being cool and stuff.
Not me, man.
Yeah. That
It'd
sucks.
be like that sometimes.
Yeah, well, you just got to be careful because it does seem like the police are pulling people over more. You know, for a while there, they weren't pulling people over for expired tags and things like
I never even
this.
see cops.
I've been seeing them a lot lately.
Yeah. Over here in the safe areas, Laura, there's a ton
Get
of
out of
cops.
town, Mr. Homicide. I swear.
I'm Mr. Homicide.
Yeah, there's been so many people murdered on your street.
There have been zero murders on my street.
It was the next block over.
It was 2 blocks. It was a misunderstanding.
Well, there it is. You can shoot us a talk back anytime through our iHeartRadio app or a text message on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line at 98197. All right, it's time to play the 5 and 10 game. 1059 The Brew presents Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace to the Tanner, Drew, and Laura Amphitheater.
That's right.
I mean, yes, it's technically the Cascades Amphitheater, but we're working on the official title.
Yeah. That's right. We're working on a transition team, getting that going.
You get a big neon light. Tanner, Drew, and Laura Amphitheater, right?
That'll really showcase the tagging I put on it last night. I went and spray painted the logo up on there. It
Nice.
looks perfect.
Oh, nice.
Good. Thank you. Lettuce face. All right, we got to play the 5 and 10 game. We're going to give you a category, and then you'll have 10 seconds to name 5 items in that category. If you win, you get the tickets to Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. If not, you got to listen to us give your tickets to somebody who did nothing. Our contestant today is calling from Kelso. Her name is Becky. Good morning, Becky.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
I'm so excited. I've been trying all week.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, now you got a shot. Have you heard the game?
Yay.
So you know how it's played and everything,
Yes.
right? All right.
Yes.
All right, Becky. Today, your category is fast food chains. You have 10 seconds to name 5 fast food chains.
Okay. I'm ready.
Oh, go. It's time.
Oh, McDonald's, Burgerville, In-N-Out, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Del Taco time. I think that's
we
5.
can give it to her. Yeah, because
she had a late start, but she was bombing through them.
But I felt like that was, that's her fault. She didn't hear the ticker.
Yeah.
But I felt like, okay.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
She got it when the thing was. I still heard noise.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And she was naming so many. I think I heard Wiener Schnitzel in there. Yeah, it's all there.
All right, hang on the phone.
Thank you, guys.
We'll get your information, and you are going to the show. We'll see you there. I already did that song. That little sound.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Do it
Feels
again.
good.
There it is.
Again, why not?
Yeah. Okay, hang on. We'll get your info. Oh,
Okay.
boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. October outside is usually pretty nice. Because it starts to, it's like late October when it starts to get nasty.
Well, October 1st will be great.
Yeah, it'll be great.
You have a month of sun left. In just with the recent history, I'm hoping we keep that trend.
Right. All right. Well, that's good. I'm great. I'm glad everyone's having a good time this morning.
Good times. Great oldies.
Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to check some of your talkback messages, so download the iHeartRadio app for your cell phone. Lettuce Face is in here this morning, still rocking the lettuce around his neck. You look good, my friend.
That's right. The last day of it, there is a funeral service this afternoon for Lettuce
For your
Face.
lettuce?
He's starting to smell like compost over here.
That's right. I'm kimchi.
Of course, it was just 1 week ago today where Lettuce Face lost to Drew in the first ever Beat My Meat competition. Drew cooked the best steak. It was very delicious and juicy. Lettuce Face also cooked a good steak, but wasn't good enough.
You don't need to pander to me.
Unanimous decision.
Give
Drew
Drew
won.
the credit. Drew won. It's over today.
He's like, let's
We don't
stop
have to hear
talking about
it
it.
anymore. I've
Yeah.
already forgotten about the whole episode.
And he does not want to be called Lettuce Face tomorrow at Trash Bandits. He does not want to be
So
referred to.
definitely don't call him Lettuce
Unless you want your nose grabbed by a grabber, I wouldn't recommend it.
Someone sent a message yesterday and said, let me pull it up. We've got a lot of text. I got to scroll down.
Beef, salty meat. I think that's all the thing needs to say.
Say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the risk factor if I do call him Lettuce Head?
I don't know,
Well,
Beef, what do you think?
You just gotta be
Run
fast.
that mouth and let's find out.
A lot of people say they're still going to call you Lettuce Face tomorrow.
Yeah, of course they are. Because you've instigated the whole thing.
I'm just saying that you don't like it. That's all I've said.
I think that it's a terrible name that you earned, but at the same time,
No, hold on. Let's not move on here.
I'm not moving on.
He's trying to sit here and say like it's our fault. We're saying
I
that
just said
you don't want to be called Lettuce Face.
instigated the whole thing. That's all I'm
You
saying.
you really don't want to be called Lettuce Face tomorrow. I understand that.
Dude, I got a lettuce face tattoo over the weekend.
Okay.
Where is it?
right next to the
I
Weber
can't show
Grill.
you.
Oh.
Oh yeah, a little
Can't show
tramp
you.
stamp,
Yeah,
that lettuce.
Oh, yeah, we were just talking about tramp stamps.
It better
Very
look like that
topical.
limp loaf of lettuce you got on your neck.
No, it's a crispy
Lettuce
fresh-
loaf. Lettuce loaf.
Would lettuce loaf be acceptable tomorrow? Is that not?
That's a transitionary name from face to loaf.
I need
to,
a little bit of time to get back to Casey
No,
and
you
beef
don't.
loaf.
You got till the afternoon. You're good.
Lettuce loaf feels good. Doesn't that feel
does
good?
feel good.
It does. It
Yeah.
has a ring to it. And I wish we
Yeah,
had
it
that
is.
all week.
Yeah, lettuce loaf. It rolls off the tongue better.
But he has. I will give him credit for the lettuce around his neck because he has worn it every day. I didn't think it would last.
Me
this
either.
long.
When I drilled a hole through that bad boy last Thursday, I did not think that it would still be here hanging around.
You bought
Lettuce
good
faces.
stuff.
Yeah, you do quality work. This is the best $3 lettuce you've ever purchased.
Thank you.
And you should be very proud of it. I'm really impressed by the 3 strands of string you tied together to make one string. You really went all out on this.
Spent a whole 5 minutes on that. You can see everything go down here in the studio on our video-only SpyCam feed. It's online, 1059thebrew.com.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
big story.
It's now time for the big story, where we go around the room sharing what we think the biggest stories of the day are. Laura, would you like to kick it off?
Sure, I can go first. I think the big story is that not only is it Easter on Sunday, it's also 420. I know Drew is going to be celebrating both holidays on Sunday. But reminder.
Blast like that, jeez.
you could actually fulfill the rest of the story. I'm going to a Fish concert.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to get baked in a basement
But
all day.
that's like the ultimate way of celebrating 420.
It is.
I
Start with
think.
an Easter egg hunt and then try and find your way home at night.
I'm saying. So obviously 420 can mean high stakes on our roadways, so remember to be cautious while driving. According to AAA, around 85% of cannabis users admit to driving the same day after consuming cannabis, if you can believe it. But they say, regardless of whether or not cannabis is legal or prescribed, driving under the influence of the drug is illegal and extremely dangerous. So be careful as you're out and about. Don't drive intoxicated.
Because it's also, it's not just 420. Easter comes with alcohol at a lot of
Sure,
parties. So
yeah.
it's not, even if it's not you, somebody out there is a little swervy. I'll be taking Ubers to the Moda Center.
Good call.
The big story to me is Lee Corso is retiring from ESPN's College Game Day. Now, you know him as the one who puts the mascot heads on and gives you the little wave. And in the retirement announcement, what was the mascot head that he was wearing? Of course, the Oregon Duck, which he loved to throw on when he would do his signature pick at the end of the day. But let's be honest, the man was 90, or is turning 90 this summer, and is stepping away after 4 decades at the helm. A 40-year run, pretty good. But in the end, they were kind of dragging him along, and it was becoming unfair. So good job, Lee. Go chill by a lake and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I think the big story is, speaking of Fish, the top 7 remains the same as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame voting for the fan vote ends this weekend. It's the last weekend for it, and Fish is leading the top spot right now with at least 300,000 votes.
The fans are so dedicated, it's borderline annoying, you know,
Yeah.
so it's going to be hard to pass them.
Yeah, it looks like Bad Company was at 2 and Billy Idol at 3, which I think is a pretty good list.
I think the top 5 get like the fan vote nomination,
All right.
but that doesn't mean they'll all be inducted.
Well, Bad Company, old school, love it.
But Fish could be going in there. We'll just we won't find out this weekend, right? It still has to.
No, the ceremony isn't until October. I don't know when the official inductees are announced.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, as soon as that is announced, you'll find out about it right here on 105.9 The Brew.
Bing, bing.
Coming up here in just a few minutes, another keyword. Actually, we're going to give you the keyword right now for your chance at $1,000 in cash.
All right.
Now, you know what to do. As soon as you hear it, you got to go to the website, 1059thebrew.com, and enter in to win. Lettuce Face?
Yo!
Well, if you won $1,000, what would you buy?
Oh, boy. Right now, today, if I had $1,000 in my pocket, I would go down and I'd spend it all on Costco hot dogs. And I'd just start
Whoa, you
handing them out in the
could
parking
get a
lot
lot
like
of hot
Santa
dogs.
Claus, like a Santa Claus of hot dogs.
All right.
Save a little for one new head of lettuce. You're looking a little limp over there.
Well, you got the chance at the money right now.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
When you get a chance, you should check out our SpyCam live stream. That's online at 1059thebrew.com. You can watch the show as it happens. And Laura is dressed as the Easter Bunny today.
Yeah.
Looking the part right now.
Yeah, she's
Thank
got a bright pink bunny suit on, and I'm sure she's sweating balls in that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. But I mean, it has been sitting in my production studio for, when did we do the breaking and entering where we all dressed up?
Been like late November, right?
Yeah, but this was like a year and a half. This
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
that was
2 years ago.
2 years ago, right.
So it's been sitting in my studio for 2 years. I knew it was going to come in handy at one of these days.
One of these days.
Saved it for this.
Yeah.
Well, Easter's coming up on Sunday, obviously, so we're celebrating in here with a giant pink Easter bunny.
And I like it's got like a floppy ear, which is like, it kind of has
Yeah.
Laura. It has Laura's appeal to it that I'm half over it ear.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm dressed up, but I don't really want to be.
But here
This
it
is
is.
what you get,
Yeah,
okay?
right. Well, we're happy to have you here, Easter Bunny, but we have a brand new segment that we're introducing to the show today.
Okay.
Called Cheers and Jeers, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, okay.
Cheers and Jeers. You want to explain how it is done, Laura?
Yeah, okay. So basically, this is an opportunity for you to either celebrate somebody or something that happened in your life. That would be the cheer if you want to give somebody a shout out for doing something cool.
A little positivity.
Yeah, or a little negativity. If you've been stewing on something all week, somebody did something to you that made you real mad, then you can send out a jeer. Like, hey, Jerry, stop stealing my parking spot, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that works
Yeah,
too.
Jerry.
Jerry.
Front butt Jerry.
Yeah, and you and your front butt got to get out of that parking spot. That's mine.
Get your dirty car out of my spot.
Yeah.
You deliver it here, so maybe you can get it off your chest without catching a knuckle sandwich.
Exactly. And I mean, you don't want to be taking that stuff with you into the weekend, so yeah.
Send us a talk back through the iHeartRadio app. Just download it for your cell phone today, or you can shoot us a text message on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line at 98197. Or just call us if you're old school.
Yeah.
Michael Lettuce Face over here.
He calls every time.
866-445-1059. I'll start, and I'm going to start with some cheers.
All right.
Nice.
So my neighbor, big ups to my buddy Joel, who's my neighbor next door to my right. I love this dude. My microwave recently died, and it's one of those that's mounted above the oven, you know? And
a bigger deal.
I was trying to figure out how to take it out of there, and I just couldn't figure it out, you know? Like, I was like, how do I take this thing out and put the new one in? Called my buddy Joel. He came over right away, because I think he's just bored over there sometimes.
Yeah.
And he came over right away and screwed the thing. It took him like 10 minutes to do it.
That's such an amazing thing to have access to.
Yeah, so big ups to my buddy Joel. Cheers to my neighbor Joel for helping me install my new microwave.
And he's always kind of helping you out, isn't he?
Dude, I love the guy.
He's always around.
So he did both ends. He helped take it out and put the fresh in.
Well, I took the thing out, and he was kind of like so he was doing it, but I was doing it, but he was telling me what to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
So
good.
he was kind of over
Training.
my shoulder. Yeah. But basically he did it, but I was the one.
You were the hands.
I was the hand of the king.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, cheers and jeers this morning. 866-445-1059. Do you got anything, Drew?
I do. Let's go the other direction.
Oh,
I'll go with a
good.
jeer.
All right.
Okay.
And it really grinds my gears every time this happens. Now, my neighbor across the street, he doesn't live there. He's the landlord. I had some great neighbors there, but he's always been the landlord, so he just will decide, like, I don't like these 3 trees. Who cares if they're 90 feet tall? Cut them to the ground. He's that guy. And we pride ourselves on this little forest that we have left amongst an ever clear-cutting neighborhood. And, dude, this guy just a couple months ago, he cut a bunch of trees down. He was there watching the guy cut them down. I went to ask him about it. He honestly did not roll his window down. He let me stand in the rain like I was Patrick Swayze from Ghost. So I was like, okay, I don't like you either. Fine. I go inside. And what do I see? The day before yesterday, another yellow sign posted, another tree coming down. What are you going to come stand and ignore me in the rain again? Like, no explanation. And then I find out that he has told the neighbor that, don't worry about it. I'll get rid of the tree. I always have a way. I'm in real estate. So he just like flexed that he will drop any tree in the neighborhood with his skills.
Why? And he didn't explain to you why.
Oh, he doesn't talk to me, Laura.
But there's no explanation, you said, for why he's cutting down these trees.
He's remodeling the house and extending it out, but that tree is outside of the plans.
Yeah.
He just wants it gone so it doesn't mess up his new roof that's going to come. And and that's not how it works in a place with protected trees. It's not for your vanity. It's for necessity.
Right.
If it breaks your driveway, you can take it down. But if you want a sweet roof that never gets moss on it, that's your deal.
Yeah.
Well,
you bought in a forest.
I feel like you guys will have plenty of time to talk it over when you chain yourself to that tree and just tell him you're not going anywhere.
Oh my God,
This tree's
Drew,
not going anywhere, and neither am I.
Between that and the fish show, I'm going to be a real hippie when I get done with that.
Yeah, Beefwater, do you have somebody, Lettuce Face, is there somebody you'd like to cheer or jeer this week?
Yeah, I would like to give some props to a cat named Jones in Music on eBay that has put me in touch with 2 sweet Tom Peterson and Gloria's 2 relics over the last couple weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
I just got me a pretty dope wall clock and a nice neon green Frisbee, so thanks to him for making my dreams come true.
Okay.
Man, I bet at your house, can we get rid of your clutter?
Nope, we're just chipping away. I will get all of the Tom Peterson gimmicks before I depart this planet.
Right.
What are you doing with that Frisbee? You just putting it on display or throwing
hung
it
it on
in-
my wall. What else am I supposed to do with it? Go outside and play Frisbee with it?
Yeah, maybe.
He sent me a text message the other night, goes, look at my new toys.
That was fresh out of the mailbox.
Yeah, he's Beefwater, Lettuce Face is very proud of his
Is
Tom
that
Peterson and
mint
Glorious 2 stuff.
condition?
Yeah, they're in great shape. Plus free shipping.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
How much do you pay for a Tom Peterson
I
Frisbee?
can't disclose what I pay.
We'll put the pictures up of it. Here it is if you want to see it. We'll put it up if you want to see the Tom Peterson Glorious 2 clock and Frisbee that he bought. 1059thebrew.com. By the way, Tom Peterson, just an old salesman here in Portland.
Just a local
legend.
Yeah, he's no longer with us. May he rest in peace.
Wake up!
So we want to know. Yeah, I actually have that. Do I have that? I have that
somewhere.
I have it. Moments passed. Oh, here it is. Wake up! Hey, wake up! All right.
Tom can cover it.
Cheers and jeers this morning. Who do you want to cheer, or maybe there's somebody you want to jeer? And
Laura didn't do hers.
Oh, I thought she did. I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
It was
it's
off you.
okay. It's not that big of a deal.
No. Go ahead.
I cheer is being forgotten.
That's my fault.
I cheers you guys for always forgetting about me.
How could you when I'm dressed like a big pink bunny?
You definitely stick out today. You
My
should be
fault.
remembered.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just bitching about my HOA. The fees went up again last month, and they've hired this new, I don't know if it's like property management or what, but I walked in to my gated area the other day, going back into my place, and I noticed we got some weeds growing in the flower bed. And I'm like, what are we paying for you guys for? Let's get the landscaper out here and fix this area up, you know?
Yeah, whether it's HOA fees or taxes, HOA fees or
It's
taxes.
crazy.
Like, where's the money going?
Yeah.
What are you doing with it?
That's exactly what I want to know.
It's so frustrating. So,
Yeah.
are you going to take over the HOA? I feel
No,
like you should.
because that's too much work.
So what do you do in that situation? Do you have to file a complaint
Now
with somebody?
I
or
don't know.
Like,
Like,
how do you correct it?
Usually I would just like send an email and be like, "Hey bro, there's some weeds. What are we doing about this?" But now
There's no
since
boss.
it's like it's just like some faceless company. So I mean, I guess
How do your HOA fees get to them? Do you have to cut them a check? Does it just come out of your monthly payment? How do you?
No, I have to. It's online payments through like QuickBooks
Stop
or
paying 'em.
something. I don't know. Yeah.
Just stop paying them?
Stop paying your HOA fees until they do their end of the bargain.
I don't know if that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
I think you have to get the rest of your tenants on board with that idea before you go rogue by yourself not
Yeah,
paying.
that's a good point.
So you're just going to get hit with a bunch of late
It's only
fees.
going to get worse.
It is only going to get worse. I think I'm going to be pushed
telling
out of
you,
my
you guys
condo
gotta-
at some point.
You got to hold a meeting and put your foot down. That's not cool.
I do think you should take over your HOA for sure. We got text messages coming in on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line, wanting to know about cheers and jeers this morning, right? So if you got somebody to cheer, somebody to jeer, let us know. And Drew and I at first didn't know what jeer meant, right?
Yeah.
I never hear that term, but I can get my head around
But
it.
Laura informed us.
Laura's from a distant part of this country.
Yeah, I mean,
She's traveled.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know what the definition of jeer is. All I know is that it's negative.
And it rhymes with cheers.
And it rhymes
And
with
it
cheers,
works.
so that's what we're doing.
This text comes from 3411. It says, I'm always sending a cheer to my wife. She always knows how to pull me out of a spiral, and there's been a lot of it this week.
Oh,
Yeah, it's always good to have a woman on your side like that, man.
Man, I would say that about Amy, but her haircut hits the books today. And dude, you guys are out of your minds.
I know. I got my hair cut yesterday, and believe me, I know.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Who would you like to cheer? Who would you like to jeer? More of your calls, texts, and talkbacks coming up.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Here's Drew.
The Colorado football team, the Buffaloes, are doing everything they can to appease Deion Sanders to try and keep him as their coach. It must be good for recruiting. Now, it hasn't turned into a ton of wins, but the Buffs coach just got not only Travis Hunter, the superstar two-way player from Colorado who won the Heisman, not only did he get his number retired, which makes sense just like 10 years from now, but Shedeur Sanders, his son, will also have his jersey retired. There was a lot of grumbling going on about it, but he sat down at a press conference, and Deion said this about his boy.
Let's get the elephant out the room. I don't want to talk about this too long. I'm going to just talk briefly and let it go. We talking about Shedeur. We ain't talking about nobody else. But his last name wasn't Sanders. We wouldn't have this discussion. The only reason we were having this discussion is his last name is Sanders. Okay? That's it.
Well, and he went 13-11 as a starter, which is not good. Now, he will be a high draft pick, but in order to be retired at a school, you have to set records with your stats, or you need to win games. A 500 record is just not good enough, but it's Dad's boy. Let's pet his head. Tonight, you've got a doubleheader starting at 4 o'clock. TNT is the spot for the first game. This is going to be on 2 different channels, so keep an eye as the evening progresses. Heat, Hawks, Mavericks, Grizzlies. Your nightcap is on ESPN, but a good night to see some people get their bags packed, and the final 2 spots in the playoffs will be secured. There's your sports.
Thank you much. All right, this hour's keyword for your chance at $1,000 from the Cash Squatch is win. As in, I really hope you win this money. Log on right now, 1059thebrew.com. Enter the keyword win, and we could call you back with the cash. All right, it's a Cheers and Jeers Friday. Would you like to cheer somebody, or would you like to say something negative about somebody? Which one is it, and who are they? 866-445-1059. That's coming up after Toto. Happy Friday. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake.
All right, it's time for part 2 of our new segment, Cheers and Jeers, which, you know, you can either cheer somebody on for doing something great, like my neighbor who came over and helped me mount my microwave, or you could jeer somebody, which we found out off the air, which that stands for make rude and mocking remarks about somebody.
There you go.
So cheers and jeers every Friday now. So you can smash on somebody or say something sweet.
It feels good.
Yeah, because I do feel like we give people ample opportunity to smash on people. So it's nice to give people a platform to say positive things about their friends as well.
Right. Let's go to Spencer. Hey, buddy, it's cheers and jeers. Do you want to cheer somebody on, or you want to smash on somebody? That sounded different because that sounded like you want to have sex with them.
Well, that too.
Well, I mean, it's the three of you, so you never know.
Yeah, smash fest.
No, I wanted to cheers the three of you because it's been like 8 years y'all have let me call in and start my day with you, and it's appreciated, and you start Portland's days off great. So
Thanks,
cheers
Spencer.
to the three of you.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah,
thank you, guys.
he's been listening since, I feel like the OG days.
Yeah, he's been here since this whole installment for sure.
Yeah, so we appreciate you, Spencer. Man, thanks for that.
Yeah, and thanks for referring to me as a ghost.
No, beef is a big part of our mornings in here too, and when you show up, it is lighten up the room. All right, and maybe it's the light off the lettuce you're
Just
wearing.
a reflection. Yeah,
it could be that.
It's getting too sweet in here. Thanks, Spencer. We got some talkbacks coming in through our iHeartRadio app. Send us one anytime. Download it for your cell phone today.
Happy Friday, Brew Crew. Oh, yeah. I want to cheers my redhead girlfriend for going to A-Crop with me, putting up with my crap, eating mushrooms with me, letting me look at her boobies. She's awesome, man. Bing bong.
Bing bing.
Hey, Brew Crew. I just want to send a cheer to my mom. She just turned 61 this month, and she just had a rare form of blood cancer that she is currently on medications and will have till the rest of her life. And she's a single mom, raised me with no dad, and she's a
Oh, what was he going to say? She was a mechanic?
Maybe she is a mechanic.
Or amazing, one or the other. Or maybe
an amazing mechanic.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, that's very sweet of you to say to your mom about your mom. This text message comes to us from 9589. It says, jeers to my ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
One of her kids moved in with me the moment they turned 18. The next oldest showed up the other day asking to charge their school laptop so they could do some homework because she let the power get shut off again.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
So a jeer for her.
That sucks, man.
Yikes, yeah,
Well,
that's
it's cool
rough.
that, you probably built a relationship with those kids over time, so they're lucky to have you still, not be a dick about it.
Mm-hmm.
This text comes to us from 6525. It says, cheers to Dr. Rust at Rebound Orthopedic for giving me a full work release for work on Monday after breaking my ankle last Sunday. I'm hobbling around, but he appreciates Dr. Rust.
Gotta love that name.
I want to know how he broke his ankle, or they broke their ankle.
Yeah, I don't know, but
What's
Dr. Rust took care of it.
What's the deets? I hope it was something cool. I hope you were playing
Lights.
kickball or something.
That'd be super cool.
Can we start an intramural kickball league?
That'd be actually fun. I would do
Yeah.
that. I would do that.
Do you want to go back to work full speed after breaking your ankle last week?
I think that's why he's saying thanks.
He wants to get back to speed is what I took from it.
All right.
No, he was saying cheers for giving me work release on Monday so he doesn't have to work.
Oh, he's not work release. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
he was clearing him to go back to work. And I'm like, bro, don't you need a couple days?
You get a doctor's note, just like the old school days where you get a wheels up, you get to watch In the Heat of the Night at your place.
Yeah. Well, there it is. 866-445-1059. Is there somebody you would like to cheer, or is there somebody you'd like to jeer today? I feel like there's always somebody I'd like to jeer, but I'm trying to be positive this morning.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of on neutral ground today. I'm feeling kind of just like, meh, everyone's fine. You know?
Yeah, it could go either way. All it takes is one person to slam their door into your car, and it can launch this whole thing today.
Right. 866-445-1059 is the phone number. More of your calls and texts coming in just a few minutes. We want to remind you that Trash Bandits is tomorrow, y'all.
Yeah.
Trash Bandits is going down.
Yeah, cheers to everyone who comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, and jeers, especially if you signed up and then you don't show up. Jeers to you.
And if you hear this every time and you just go, nah, I don't clean.
Yeah,
Here's
right.
your jeer.
Yeah, we've done this a lot. How many times have you heard us talk about Trash Bandits and not shown up?
So many opportunities. You don't have to be there every time, but try and make an appearance sometime.
Once. Just
We're going to meet at Linz Park tomorrow morning starting at 10 a.m., and we're going to clean up the surrounding area. That's my old stomping ground. I went to Marshall High School my freshman year before I got expelled. So, it'd be nice to go over there and just give back. Mm-hmm. Actually give back to even though it was taken from me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're going to give back even though they don't necessarily deserve that.
No.
They kicked out a legend.
I gotta be honest, I'm pretty excited about Trash Bingo.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to be good.
Because we've got quite a collection of things on the list.
So Trash Bingo is something we've been talking about doing at Trash Bandits for a while, but now we're actually doing it. So the listeners have a chance at tickets. Do we know what those are yet, Beef?
I'm certainly bringing some Breaking Benjamin tickets out. And,
Okay, sweet.
B-Break?
I was flirting with maybe a pair of tickets to The Offspring. We'll see.
Okay.
Tickets, too, will be a surprise.
Yes, so we're going to have tickets to something tomorrow, but you got to win Trash Bingo. So here's a bunch of items that we have on the bingo list. And I think we needed because we got a lot. I think we needed 25 total.
Yeah, it depends on how big I guess the bingo board has to be 5 across.
And this has gotten pretty big so far, so we might as well just get there.
Okay.
But we've got unwrapped diaper as one of the items.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can't bring this stuff from home.
Yeah, no plans.
You can't sandbag the bingo.
Yeah, you can't pull that unwrapped diaper out of the back of my car.
Yeah, right. You also on the Trash Bingo list here is crime tape or caution tape.
Uh-huh.
There's a good chance you could run into some of that tomorrow.
Nice.
Especially the crime tape. There's always like a
You may run into some crime.
Somewhere.
Yeah, and
That's
thus
true.
the tape comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, any sort of weapon like an axe, a hammer, anything like that.
A shank.
Blunt object.
I think even like a bullet round. I feel like that
would suffice.
That would work. Energy drinks, whether it's a can empty or full. Condoms and syringes are on the list, but those are not to be touched.
Yeah, no touching.
You
don't
just
touch
mark
those.
off and move.
Hair extensions, a random tire, a wet blanket, a dead body is on the list.
Oh.
That's got to be. No one's going to find a dead body.
Take a
You don't know
picture,
that.
finish your clean, and then make a call.
I mean, they might find a leg, undoubtedly a whole body.
There's a good chance you could find pee in a bottle.
Yeah, that seems to be everywhere.
Right?
Just marking where you're coming back to camp.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some pornography, a comb or a brush.
I feel like that pornography is going to be one of the tougher things to find because it's the same thing with your magazine subscriptions that aren't pornography. They've dried up.
It was more likely back in the day.
Oh, it was a hot item.
Yeah, because when I found it was the 90s, I think, and we just found literally a backpack full of hustlers and playboys and a bunch of
jackpot.
It was honestly like 6 boys.
It changed our lives.
We became men that day.
That's right.
But what else are we missing? Oh, luggage is also a thing. Because a caller, one of our listeners, called up and said, "Hey, I feel like you always see luggage just laying around places."
Mm-hmm.
What about miscellaneous furniture? Like I always feel like there's a dresser.
Oh, that's
or
good.
an end table
Yeah,
or
an ottoman or something.
or like a kicked-in TV.
Yeah,
some sort of thing like that. I don't know.
like that. All right, just like random
miscellaneous furniture.
All right.
Also, do we have any snack bags, like potato chip bag or something like that, or fast food bag might be a good one.
Crushed fountain drink cup. I think I found it every one.
A big gulp cup, specifically a 7-Eleven
It has to
big
be a
gulp
big
cup.
gulp.
I like that because I always feel like I see one of those smashed out on the road.
Do we have? Is there a 7-Eleven nearby?
I think there is.
Okay.
I think that
would help our
But
odds.
it has to be a big gulp specific, not a super big gulp.
No, any gulp.
No, any gulp.
Any gulp, yeah. Any size of gulp.
We're getting so
I think
specific now, Gulpy.
There's prizes on the line.
And they had to be drinking Coca-Cola. If
Yeah,
there's not
if you-
Coca-Cola inside, then get rid of it.
So sniff cup, all right? When you're done sniffing cup, if it's not a Dr. Pepper.
That's a little dangerous.
Speaking of, well, this is not really sniff. This has nothing to do with sniffing. What about like a Zyn canister, or a chewing tobacco canister.
Okay.
Could we
Something
broaden
like
it
that.
to like cigarette pack?
A tobacco product?
Tobacco product.
CO2 cartridge.
Yeah. Nitrous. Any hippie crack.
So what were you saying?
Like Zin, but that could also be a chewing tobacco.
Tobacco
or-
products.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like that's some good stuff. Trash Bandits is tomorrow. 10 a.m. is when we're going to meet at Linz Park, and then for the next 2 hours, we're going to clean up the city, and then after that, go day drinking. So come on out and get crazy with us. And by the way, we found out yesterday that fire trucks from Station 11 and Station 7 will be there.
In honor of the Big Gulp Cups.
In honor of all the garbage. And they're just going to be taking pictures with people. So if you want to bring your kids down and they want to get inside of a fire truck for a photo op or something, you can do that.
It's going to be great.
Right, Lettuce Head?
That's right.
It's lettuce face, bro.
Yeah, whatever. Get it all out of your system now, because it's almost over.
Lettuce.
He's feeling it now.
I thought we were carrying lettuce loaf into tomorrow.
I do like all three.
Okay.
It ends Friday.
Someone asks a question on our text line, do dead animals count as dead bodies on the bingo card?
I mean, why not?
I say yeah.
Why not? If you find a swiped out raccoon,
Some sort
click,
of
click.
roadkill. Yeah.
Sign up to be a trash bandit, 1059thebrew.com. Again, we'll have tickets to see 1059 The Brew presents Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace, possibly some Offspring tickets. You'll have your chance tomorrow, but you got to do the trash bingo. So
boom.
I'm ready for it. I want to tell you real quick about my friends over at The Advocates. If you've ever been in an accident, you already know it's difficult dealing with the insurance company and your recovery at the same time. You should just focus on your recovery. That's all you should be worried about post-accident. That's why you need to reach out to Ken and Donnie over at The Advocates. They've been doing this a long time. They know just what to say and just what to do to these insurance companies to make sure that they pay you everything that you are owed. They always say in the commercials, you're in good hands, we're going to take care of you. Then why do you fight me? Every single time I need the money. It's a real pain. The Advocates aren't going to let that happen. So reach out to them. They don't get paid until you win. So it's no risk to you. They've gotten over $100 million for their clients. So get some of that money, all right? AdvocatesLaw.com. Tell them Tanner sent you. That's AdvocatesLaw.com.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's rock station, 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. I was thinking about this earlier this morning. Court and I were talking about this yesterday, and I was still thinking about it in the shower this morning.
Oh.
But do you remember those old lunch boxes that you get as a kid? You know, like the metal ones?
Yeah.
I never had a metal one, but I had a plastic one.
They moved to the plastic version of that, though, so it was still the same idea.
Yeah.
I loved the metal ones back in the day. Or the plastic ones. Do you remember what was on your lunchbox as a kid?
Oh, I do.
Do you remember?
Yeah. And I think I didn't really like it. Like, I feel like I was often a victim of, like, whatever was available at the store.
Because your mom showed up late and all the good stuff was
Yeah,
taken.
so I got a lunchbox. It was pink, which I was never, like, a big fan of the color pink. And it had Minnie Mouse on it, and I never liked Mickey or Minnie Mouse. So I don't know how I ended up with that lunchbox, but that's what I carried.
I was a big Sesame Street fan, man. I love that show. And so mine was the old school metal lunchbox with Sesame Street on it. Big Bird and the whole gang, the whole cast.
Yeah.
With the thermos?
I don't know if I had that. Maybe.
Oh, I think I had a thermos. With
I
that.
have the thermos with the little latch that
it
swung over
It
and
did
held
have the
flat.
the little latch.
But usually that was discarded or destroyed. By the time I saw them, the thermos wasn't in there.
Yeah, the kid lost it or
And
something.
If you did have the thermos, the lid was a goner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which it was an impressive lid situation with that fold-up little...
Yeah. So you could turn it into a soup bowl. Like it was magic.
I wish I still had that because I bet it's worth money. Like if I still had the
A lot.
1980s metal lunchbox with Sesame Street on it.
I had a friend who had a collection. He collected the metal lunchboxes
Really?
from back in the day.
I bet it's the same thing as anything. I bet like a mint condition,
Right.
you know, one that didn't have a huge release could be worth a lot of money.
Dude, I'm telling you, you look at a beat to death Dukes of Hazzard metal lunchbox, $100, $150.
What was on your lunchbox as a kid, Lettuce Face?
I only had one, and it was Thundercats.
Thundercats.
And I vividly remember getting it at the Toys R Us at Jansen Beach.
Oh.
And then it got lost one day at school, and my mom was all hot at me because I lost my lunchbox, and then it turned up maybe a couple weeks later, and everything was just molded to death on the inside.
Yeah, because there is no air getting in there.
it just got lost somewhere.
Now, I didn't have one personally. I had paper bags by the time I came about, but my oldest brother, I remember he had He-Man on the cover of his, and so
That was a badass lunchbox.
yeah, and so he was a first child. Like first child definitely gets a sweet lunchbox. By the time you get to 3, you're like, who loves paper? But I always was super jealous. Those were great legs on that He-Man,
I
just
also
shining
think
out.
Even though the thermos, like maybe we lost the pieces to the thermos or whatever, but that is a great idea because when did we transition to like Kool-Aid Squeeze-Its and Capri Sun? Like I bet you would have saved a lot of money if you just would have sent your kid to school with a thermos full of Kool-Aid instead.
And again, multi-use. It could be used for a drink. It could be used for some soup.
But how often did the kid actually get the soup? I feel like most parents were mailing in the soup
Listen,
option.
if I were a kid and I opened up and it was soup and not Kool-Aid, I'd been so pissed.
I'm about to get juiced, and you gave me minestrone? Get
what
out of here.
is this?
My bag would always be a letdown because you'd feel it, and you'd feel a can in there, and you'd be like, yes. Think it's a Coca-Cola Classic, and you pull it out, and it's a canned treetop. Talk about ruining a day.
Yeah. What was on your lunchbox as a kid? 866-445-1059 is the phone number. You can also shoot us a text message on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line at 98197.
Yeah. What did your lunchbox look like?
Yeah, what was on it at least? That's dude, and do you still have it? Because it might be worth some cash.
Yeah.
Speaking of cash, your next chance to win $1,000 is coming up right after Green Day. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's rock station. One of... Sorry. But always
on
throws
now.
me off.
Sometimes you just got to wail on that thing.
It's 105.9 The Brew. Tanner, Drew, and Laura. I want to give props. We should have said this earlier. Cheers to our listener, High Voltage Maverick.
Yeah, he deserves a cheers for sure.
Yeah. High voltage maverick who goes up and he climbs the poles in town, and I don't know what he does up there.
He's an electric. He works on those giant, electrical boxes or whatever, transformers that are up in the sky.
Yeah, on the power poles.
Mhm.
He sent us a photo yesterday, and it's a bunch of photos that he took a Tanner, Drew, and Laura sticker and slapped it on one of those transformers.
I love it.
At the top of one of these poles.
Looks so good.
I don't know what city. What city is that?
Hold
I'm
on.
not sure.
He sent me the exact location.
Now, I'm going to sound like a fuddy-duddy, but is he getting reprimanded for that? I mean, I
mean-
wonder who it was, the guy contracted to go up there.
Because if you look at the photo, it looks like he took the Tanner, Drew, and Laura sticker and put it right over some important numbers on the transformer.
Oh, yeah, the serial number?
It actually
Who needs
is
that?
over another seemingly important sticker, but he says it's on Fremont between 76 and 77.
Okay.
Oh,
So
exact
be
location.
on the lookout.
So there's like a
Yeah.
Tanner, Drew, and Laura sticker up there, but it looks like he covered some pretty important numbers on this transformer, and I'm wondering if that's a good idea.
I mean, he would know. So
I mean,
I'm
it's
sure
not
it's
hurting
fine.
anyone up there, but I just wonder what his superiors would think
Yeah.
of that type of deal. I'm
Yeah.
glad you did it. We need all the help we can get.
We really can. So go check out the pictures if you want to see them. They're on our Instagram. Follow us at 1059 The Brew or at Tanner, Drew, and Laura. We were talking, Court and I were talking on the phone last night, and we just got on the subject of toys and old school lunch boxes. And I was like, man, I wish I still had mine because it was the metal ones from back in the day, the old school badass ones.
Mhm.
And mine had Sesame Street on it. And I was like, man, if I still had that, it'd probably be worth something.
Did you have like specific characters or just the whole gang?
It was the whole gang. Big Bird was like the main guy, and then everyone was
Yeah.
kind of gathered around him.
Cool.
It's like if only you could know that all this stuff would be so vintage now.
I know. Like an unopened copy of Mario 3 or something. Like you're making it.
I mean, that
Bank.
lunchbox was probably $4 originally.
Really cheap. Yeah, so we want to know what was on your lunchbox when you were a kid. I had Sesame Street. Drew's parents didn't love him enough to give him a lunchbox. I gave him a paper bag.
That's right. Still trying to get over it.
Laura had a
I had a Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse.
Which I wasn't thrilled about,
Yeah.
to be honest.
We got some text messages coming in under McLaughlin Chevrolet text line. This one's from 5288. It says 3 lunchboxes that I can remember. Those are all the hard metal ones. First one was Pac-Man. The second one was not so popular cartoon called Transor Z. Never heard of that. And the other one was Power Rangers.
Man, that Pac-Man lunchbox, that sounds awesome.
It does look like they're back. You can buy like a new version of them for like 25 or $30, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Sorry, the third one was G.I. Joe. The Transor Z is like the Power Rangers.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Tanner, if you want that Dukes of Hazzard with the thermos, $196 out the door.
$196?
For the original. But now I don't know how kicked in that is or how much black mold's been washed out of it.
That's on eBay?
Yeah, it's on Etsy.
Okay.
This text comes to us from 8932. They said they had an old Scooby-Doo metal lunchbox.
That's cool.
I bet that'd be worth something too.
Yeah.
I bet.
He says it was the Mystery Machine, but as a metal lunchbox. That's rad.
Oh, what? That's so cool.
I bet you that's worth some cash.
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad. That most of us just threw those out
Yeah.
when we were younger.
Now kids' lunchboxes are like soft case. They got 5 Tupperware items inside of it.
Yeah.
Like they get back to used to having some stale chips like the rest of us.
Here's the talkback we got through our iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, Brew Crew. I had the He-Man, and my sister had the strawberry shortcake.
Oh, yeah. Strawberry shortcake always a win.
That He-Man, though, it was legit.
Right. Coming up here in a few minutes, we're going to give you this hour's keyword again if you missed it for your chance to win $1,000 in cash from the Cash Squatch. We'll give you that to you right after Trapped. Some more of your calls coming up. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
1059 The Brew. It's Portland's Rock Station. Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Things, they just don't make things like they used to. Things aren't as cool as they used to be, like Tonka trucks. Those are all plastic and lame now.
Mm-hmm.
Lunch boxes are another one, man. I used to have the cool metal lunch boxes as a kid, and it had Sesame Street on it, but they just make the lame plastic ones now.
Well, and by the time I got to high school, I was just, or middle school even, I was just carrying around a plain old paper bag.
Yeah, I ended up doing that a while.
They got phased out. But if you're not getting a tetanus shot every 10th time you put your hand in your lunch, you're not living.
But also in school, like you get to an age where like carrying around a lunchbox looks kind of lame.
Oh yeah, it's not cool anymore.
Like I'm too old for lunchbox.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm an adult, I wish I still had one.
Uh-huh.
So we want to know what was on yours. Mine had Sesame Street. Laura's had Minnie Mouse.
Yep.
And Drew had a paper bag.
But there were lunch boxes in the house. There just weren't enough to go around, so everybody got docked.
That's fair.
This guy sent a text in from 6142, and it says, "Oh, this is interesting." It says, "Trivia: the last real lunchbox before they were banned was Rambo."
Oh, I didn't realize
before what
they were
was
banned. Like the metal.
Like a lot of schools banned the metal lunchboxes because kids were using them as
weapons.
As weapons, yeah.
Wow.
They'd get into a fight and they'd bash each other's heads with the metal lunchbox.
They're also just not productive in size anymore. The soft case ones that they use now, they kind of expand like a suitcase.
Right.
You can really get a lot of lunch in there. Before it was like, miniature apple if it's not cut up.
Yeah, turkey sandwich.
Half of one, because
yeah.
that's all that fit. Like that kind of deal. There wasn't a lot of space.
This text says, "Hey, Brew Crew, my sickness is metal lunchbox collecting. They always smell like crayons and old sandwiches or weed."
They were definitely cool storage boxes later on.
Uh-huh.
Mine in junior high was the play ball with a magnetic game on the back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like what Tanner was saying earlier. That was cool, but somebody was calling you dork.
Yeah.
Junior high with the thing.
Hi, it's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. What'd you have in your metal lunchbox? Or maybe it was just a regular plastic one. That's you. Hello. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
So I had two really fun ones. I had the Flintstones, and they were the original metal because I am old. And I also had, the coolest one was Speed Racer.
Oh, cool.
And I know, right? I actually wore the handle out, and I was riding my bike carrying it, and probably about 7 or 8 years old. And the plastic handle broke, and the only thing was left there was the two little metal brackets. So I let out some tears, and when I got home, my dad fixed the handle, only he made a duct tape handle.
That's
so
right.
I had a sticky little handle, but Speed Racer carried me through. So it was awesome.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Speed Racer. And man, if we just had those still as adults, we'd probably be rolling in money because this guy collects them, so he'd probably buy it.
And some things never go away. One of my kids has duct tape handlebars right now on her bike because they ripped off. You're like, hold on, I got this. Sticky mitts.
Got a solution here.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, it's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. What was on your lunchbox as a kid?
I had a Star Wars lunchbox when I was a little kid.
Star
Wars, nice.
And then when I got into high school, I didn't have a good lunchbox anymore, so I started using a Vietnam-era ammo can.
Ammo can.
I mean, that works.
That's
amazing.
Rad. You remember those kids?
They're air and water tight, and they're made of metal, so I mean it's a good insulator.
There was always a kid who would show up with something like that, like a metal can, or there was a kid in my school who'd show up with a briefcase.
What?
I mean, we were in grade school. Like this is not even middle school, and this kid carried around a briefcase.
Yeah, that kid's ahead of
Yeah,
his
we all
time.
did a briefcase kid.
Yeah, and he would like
we all knew a briefcase.
Yeah, and then there's one kid that would wear like a suit to school every day and carry a briefcase, and it was just like he just wanted to be his dad or something. I don't know what it was.
And then he got into the real world, and he was like, actually, this sucks.
Yeah.
I want to put on some sweatpants.
When I call my wife, it's a picture of me in a suit in kindergarten. When I was in a kindergarten, I had this little mini 3-piece suit. Now, granted, this was not junior high, but I was that kid for a hot second, trying to be Alex P. Keaton over there.
Yeah.
All right, dude, thanks. We appreciate the call, man.
Have a good one, guys.
Let's go to Siri and Steve. Good morning, Siri and Steve. Happy Friday. Fappy Friday to you.
Hey, happy Friday, guys. How are we doing today?
Good, man.
Hey, I had the A-Team lunchbox when I was in
Good
middle
one.
Hell yeah.
Classic.
Hell yeah, best one.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something that broke my heart. My mom was a I mean, I don't know how to say that about my mother, but she was a pack rat. She just never, like, want to get rid of stuff that especially belongs to the kids.
Yeah.
You know? But when she passed away about 2.5 years ago, my dad and my brothers went through the stuff and practically threw everything away, and that lunchbox was practically in there also.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah, man, that sucks. That's usually what happens. Like my stuff was at my grandmother's house, and they had a garage sale one day and just sold it all.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, there was a bowling ball in there and a bunch of old stuff, like, comic books, and yeah,
It's like
sucks.
the
Yeah,
inevitable.
man. I mean,
Go
it
ahead.
seems like the grandparents always love to, hold on to stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And then your
So,
parents
I
were
mean,
like, nah.
But they'll hold on to it until they just get rid of it at a garage sale. You
Yeah.
know, like they'll hold on to it until someone just gets rid of it one day, and it's like why'd you hold it on to it for so long if you just gave it to some guy to throw away?
Because I think it's not their decision to finally get rid of it. I think somebody else makes the call.
Well, you get to the point where you got to realize that, like Beefwater was telling us about his amazing Tom Peterson collection today. One day, everything you loved will be in a box in the hands of someone who's annoyed to have it and burdened by it, and they will either sell it or give it away at a fraction of what it actually meant or cost.
It's a great point. Casey's kids just one day gonna have to deal with all this Tom Peterson garbage,
and the burden's gonna be, well, my dad really loved this, so I'm just gonna take up half my attic with it.
Yeah, and it's worthless to everyone else, right?
It's
Only to the
just
small amount of people who like Tom Peterson stuff. But it's so
Yeah, you're probably gonna find it at a Goodwill about a few years from now. So
yeah. God,
that's where everything ends up at.
When Lettuceface dies, his family's gonna hate him.
It's just gonna be so much stuff,
so much junk.
Yeah. End up on TLC with the hoarders.
Yeah, unless his kids decide that it's cool and they want to keep it. Because
There's no way.
he's got a good relationship with his kids, so maybe like his daughter will be like, oh yeah,
She'll tell you that
my dad's Tom Peterson stuff.
You won't be cold in your grave for 3 days, and that thing's in a box on the doorstep of a Goodwill, and they're asking if you want a tax receipt.
No, she'll start Googling how much everything is worth. It's like,
$1?
okay, I think we
$3?
can part ways with this.
Yeah.
All right, Siri and Steve, love you, brother. Appreciate it.
Love you guys. Have a good weekend.
All right, let's get you this hour's keyword again for your chance to win $1,000 from the Cash Squatch. Would be a pretty great way to kick off the weekend, $1,000 in your pocket.
Yeah.
Maybe you owed on your taxes this year, which sucks if you did, but let's help you out. This hour's keyword for your chance at the money is happy. Log on right now, 1059thebrew.com, and enter the keyword happy to score the cash.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Trash Bandits, it's coming up tomorrow. Going to clean up Linz Park and the surrounding neighborhood. So if you want to join us for 2 hours, that's all it's going to take. It's going to be really nice tomorrow, too. Sign up at 1059thebrew.com.
Yeah.
Pew Boy says, I don't need to sign up. I'm just going to show up. So I think some people like the pubes will just show up.
Should we, and this sounds mean, but I don't mean it in a mean way, should we put him on Trash Bingo?
Everyone gets it. He's the center star.
Yeah, if he makes an
Yes.
appearance, if anyone sees Pew Boy, you get a space on Trash Bandits Bingo.
You need to find a random burnt tire, a dead body, pee in a bottle, or Pew Boy.
Yeah.
Well, the first of three things are kind of describe him. Spare tire, pee in a bottle, and what was the other one? Something dirty.
It's Pew Boy. That was-
It's him.
So we'll see him. He's a good dude. He'll come out to
He
our.
is a good dude.
He came out to last Trash Bandits and cleaned up and.
Yeah,
did
I
he
walked with him.
Did he behave himself around your children?
He did. I mean, you're allowed to smoke in public. He did rip heats the whole time, which they've seen smoking. It's just he was upwind.
He watched his mouth and everything. Didn't curse.
Oh,
a lot.
he cursed.
Oh, okay.
I mean, as long as he didn't throw his cigarette butts on the ground while we were trying to actively pick them up, how was that?
Yeah, he wasn't adding any litter. That's for sure.
good.
And we also had the counteract to that. We had McD whistling along with us.
Perfect.
So like we had the singing listener
What?
and the smoking.
A motley crew.
Yeah,
you
and
had.
if I could only get as lucky tomorrow when we head to Trash Band.
Well, careful what you wish for, Drew.
Well, I believe it's your turn to pube.
It starts at 10 a.m. Sign up now at 1059thebrew.com. We were talking about lunch boxes, not like your chubby friend. We're talking about actual lunch boxes from back in the day, dude. I wish I still had mine because it was metal. It was the old school ones. It's probably worth something now.
Yeah.
But I don't have it anymore. But it was a Sesame Street lunchbox.
Mm-hmm.
Court was talking to me. I can't remember what his was.
Star Wars.
Probably Star Wars.
Probably was something
Just because
like
of the time specific, or a He-Man. But he's from another time. He might have John Wayne on his.
Come on.
Let me call him real quick and ask. It might be John Wayne.
He actually
that's a good
probably had
chance.
like
the fourth president.
Yeah,
of the
he's
United
actually
States.
got a wagon train.
George Washington.
It's the Oregon Trail.
Yeah. Call Court and see what he had on his lunchbox. He graduated, in all honesty, though, he graduated in like the 70s, I think? Or was it the 80s?
I think it was 90.
No, was it?
Yeah, it graduated high school.
Yeah.
Did I just age
You're
him?
like, I think he graduated in the 70s?
Actually, I think it's
Bro.
actually 93 if I'm doing the math. 92 or
I'm
93.
pretty sure he graduated in 77.
Sorry, I missed your call.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
He knows we're talking
77.
Yeah. He's
Whenever he graduated.
gazing at a senior menu
Wait, but
right now.
he's not that much older than Beefy Lettucehead, is he?
2 years. So
okay,
that's why
so
can
he's not
Beef-
even fit. I'm thinking,
Okay.
what is Court like 49?
He's 50.
Oh, that's right.
Remember,
okay,
we
yes,
celebrated his
did.
50th.
We did.
So I have a brother who's 2 years younger than him, so he's 93. 92 or 93, depending on his
Okay,
brain.
got it.
Well, maybe we'll call back in. He had a cool one, but I don't remember what it was. We did get a couple of text messages in. This guy said he had a Dukes of Hazzard one from the original TV series.
Cool.
So when you look at some of these, it brings back memories. That Dukes of Hazzard is the vintage same one that's in your mind.
Yeah.
Popeye was another
Oh.
vintage one. The Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, they said that he had the thermos that went with the Dukes of Hazzard lunchbox, and he was so. Oh, this might have been a lady because
Orange cap.
they say they were so in love with Bo Duke.
Man,
Oh, okay.
it was a very popular show back then.
9951 says I had a Transformers metal lunchbox with a thermos as a kid. Also had a plastic lunchbox with a thermos, and that was GoBots.
When you transition to the plastic, they're like, ooh, it's new and different. It was the end of an era.
Yeah.
5945 says, hey, it's Dirty Harry. I had a Kiss lunch pail when my mom divorced Creepy Joe in 1980. My stepbrother Bobby stole it from me, though.
Creepy
bummer.
Joe.
I was gonna say though, if you had a Kiss lunchbox, like chances are you still have it, but it got stolen. That's too bad.
Yeah, and when you have a Kiss lunchbox as a kid, that's for your parent, not for you. I mean, how often is
Yeah.
the kid like, yeah, Kiss?
I
I'm
love Gene
6.
Simmons.
It's my guy.
We got some talkbacks coming in through our iHeart Radio app.
Right.
Send us one anytime.
Hey, I totally forgot about this one. I remember I had an Alf
Yeah.
lunchbox. It was so cool. I remember that one. I wish I still had it. I actually still watch Alf every now and then. It's a cool show. If anybody wants to watch it, Beef, that's you, buddy.
Man, the kid that had the Alf lunch pail at my school was a weirdo. He was that weird kid, and every time I would see that, I think of that weird kid
It's
now.
that
Well,
kid's
I mean,
associate. Didn't Alf eat cats?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alf is kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, he in his time though, he was
Yeah.
crushing it.
Let's go to Nicholas. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good man.
Right. I just tuned in a little bit later. You guys are talking about old lunch boxes. I've got, I think Casey would probably like this, pre-1984, I think it's 83, 84 WWF back then. It has Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and Roddy Piper on it. And two of those guys are legends that have passed away. With the matching thermos, still got them all. That's my retirement fund for when I'm older.
That's right.
Lettuceface would melt down if he got his hands on that.
That is a classic.
Well,
yeah,
tomorrow will be my first Trash Bandits, so maybe I'll bring it along to show it to him.
Awesome.
Yeah, you should.
How much do you think that lunch pail's worth?
You guys, probably not that much right now. I mean, but eventually, maybe after the Hulkster dies, it could be. You know, it's kind of like art when somebody dies, the stuff rises. I mean, that's kind of how it is. But it's pretty cool to see. You know, probably like $25-$30. You never know. I bought it at an antique shop for more than that. But
hey, man, we were looking at lunch pails this morning that were like $200.
Yeah, and he's playing the long game, guys. He's just waiting it out, waiting for everybody to keel. And then it's done.
Man, if I can retire on $200, so I'm doing good.
Oh, man. That'd
Thanks,
be
man.
nice.
Appreciate the call. Let's go to, I believe this is Cameron. Good morning, Cameron.
That's Chris.
I just say, listen, man, I just go with what I see on the caller ID.
Look, it's Chris.
Yeah,
it's Chris,
I know. It's a family account.
Who's Cameron? Is that your dad?
Right, my brother.
Oh, look at that. Keeping it smart. You don't
Chris
got to be
and
my
Cam.
dad to be my daddy. You know what I mean?
Damn, Drew, what?
He's paying those bills.
Man, if I had a dime for every time I said that.
Be loaded.
All right, go ahead, dude.
Go on, sorry.
No, it's Roger Rabbit.
Oh, dude.
That's cool.
I had the Roger Rabbit. I had the Roger Rabbit toy where you pulled the string and it would say like, "Boy, my arm's tired."
I remember that thing.
Yeah, I think it's right.
That's creepy.
All right, dude. Thanks. We got some text.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
Text messages coming in. Still, this one's from 6516. It says, I had a G.I. Joe and He-Man lunchbox.
And He-Man, very popular.
My brother had the A-Team one. I would have loved it. This guy says he had a Knight Rider one. That's what I would have liked. Knight Rider lunch pail. This guy said he did have a John Wayne metal lunchbox in the early 2000s. My mom got it for me because I always loved John Wayne Westerns. Not the same as the OG metal lunchboxes, though, but it's still kind of cool.
I mean, this man is an old soul.
There's, if you remember, they had the Gremlins.
Oh, yeah?
Where it was the main character, and what was it, a Mogwai when it wasn't a Gremlin? Whatever that little fuzzy thing.
Yeah.
And then on the thermos, it was full-blown Gremlin.
Ooh,
So like once you eat,
Uh-huh.
you're all juiced.
Another talkback we got through our app.
Morning, Brew Crew. Mr. Illegal here. The boxes that come to mind would be a $1 Million Man, the Bionic Man.
The Bionic Man.
And I had another one that was Woody Woodpecker.
Oh.
And then I had a third one that I can remember. It was just like a school bus with a bunch of little characters out the windows and whatnot.
And what's on them now? Like Mr. Beast? Like who do they put on lunchboxes now?
Oh my God, Logan Paul.
Yeah, just idiots. Yeah, what do they do?
And you've got a Prime energy drink inside of it. Everyone's like, oh!
Yeah,
what do they have them now? Like, Lord or Drew, do you have them for your kids?
No, they use those newfangled ones with the Tupperware and everything in it. I mean, they've got a 4-course meal in their lunch these days. It's not like the good old days.
Give us the old boxes, man. We don't need all that crap.
There's just no room in the old box, though. We were deprived.
Yeah, I just smash a sandwich in there and some crushed chips.
Yeah, well, we were deprived, but we made it.
We're alive.
We ended up just fine.
Malnourished and not paying attention, but I made it.
Whatever.
All right, more of your calls and texts coming up in a few minutes. This hour's keyword here for your chance to win $1,000 from the Cash Squatch. Let me give it to you one more time.
If you had $1,000, you could buy so many metal lunchboxes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you could. And you got until 10 o'clock to get this hour's keyword in. So the keyword is happy. All right, log on right now, 1059thebrew.com. Good luck.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake.